Hello YouTube. This episode we're going to be trying to send a probe out to Dres. This is not an actual episode in the playlist, but if you look in your top right corner there should be a link to the playlist if you want to go back and watch all of these back from episode 0. I'm just running this video as a companion video to the series for those that are watching. And we're going to get into our save here. Okay, and now for Dres will be next. And we are going to keep using this same rocket that we've been using. So we used, let's see, where is it? Moho probe. We're going to use this rocket. We sent this to Moho and was able to get a flyby. I didn't have enough Delta V to get an orbit capture, but we did get the flyby. And in this episode, we're going to shoot for Dres. Now, Dres is a lot farther out. It's going to take 1 year and about 170 days to get there, but it doesn't require as much Delta V as Moho did. So this should be, Moho required the most Delta V. This rocket should be good to do all of the planets. So let's get into orbit here. Alright, let's lift off and see. So we're coming up on our separation. This placement of the separatrons has really done well, I think. Just as I say that, right? Okay. Okay, I don't know why that didn't work. It's been working fine for us. Do I need more than one sepratron on this thing? Or do I not have the angle steep enough for these? Guess I could try that. While I'm thinking about it, let me add a couple of these. Well, I adjusted the angle on these separatrons. Let's see if that works a little better. I may not. I may need two. I may have to use 2 separatrons per rocket or something to push them out. Well, it worked that time, but that doesn't really mean anything because it's worked in the past before I adjusted them. Okay, that went well. Getting a positive periapsis now. We'll be in orbit in just a minute and we can start plotting our path to Dres. Okay, so here we are about 93 by 91, or 94 by almost 92. And let's take a look at the solar system here. So here we have Dres. I'll set that as a target. And let's just see if the maneuver tool is going to help us in here. Huh, it worked pretty well on this one. It gave us an encounter and everything. So let's focus view on this and see just how close it's getting us. Um, I think we're going to go with that. It's 1646, call it 1650. And that's a little more than we should have needed. We should have needed 950 plus 610. So we should have needed about 1560. But we also need a inclination change. So we'll have to pull this down. So I think we'll go ahead, we'll do this burn to match this, and then we'll set a maneuver somewhere to try to pull this down and see if we can get a closer encounter here. All right, let's see. Before I do that, I need to make sure we should be good on power. I'm going to go ahead and extend these other solar panels, extend these antennas. If you missed the last episode, I had extended my solar panels prior to separating my last boosters, and the boosters ripped off my solar panels. And I didn't have these auxiliary panels on the side, so the mission ended up failing because I ran out of power. But so now I don't deploy these until after my boosters are finished separating. All right, I'm going to fast forward to the maneuver. It was about 70 something days out. And it's going to be a long flight out to Dres. It's, what is it? 1 year and 271 days according to the map. But that's why we have time warp. Oh, I'm not on my maneuver. Ah. That's going to mess me up. I should have checked that before I did my fast forward there. So it'd probably throw us off just a little bit, but maybe it won't affect it too much. It's hard to see. I think we're pretty close to it there. Okay, we'll go for that. I did lose my... I lost my encounter here, but we're pretty close. Okay, well, we're going to have to manually adjust it here. So I don't know. Okay, we got our encounter back. We're not terribly off the inclination here. Coming in at a weird angle, of course, but we could get an orbit like that. I do want to try to come in closer. Let's shoot for that. Let's shoot for 36,000 meter encounter. So this correction burns only 14.5 meters per second. And it's in 14 days, which we could probably actually do it now once we get on our maneuver. It's a very fast burn, so I'm going to have to turn these thrusts way down. I think I'm probably going to have to go to the very minimum. Oh, well, that brought it to... Okay, we'll do that. So this will be a retrograde orbit, but that's okay. So far, I think this has been the easiest planet to get to. Of course, I'm not there yet, but I think we're going to get to this one pretty easy. And go. Is that giving us 32? That will work right there. All right, so now the question is, Will I have enough delta V to get an orbit? Yes, we will have enough delta V. It's taken quite a bit. It should have taken 1,290 to get a 12-kilometer orbit. But it's taking me 1640 to get a 30,000. But so yeah, the delta V maps are seem to be off a little bit on these orbits. Anyway, all right, let us warp to here. See if we can capture an orbit and send some science. So if you're not watching the series, I have a compilation video that has Moho, Dres, Joule, and Elo. And I have to send probes to each planet before I can send Kerbals to the planets. So that's what I'm doing is I'm just I'm going in and I'm probing all the systems, and I'll have follow-up missions to each planet, but I'm going to do them in order. I'm going to start with Moho, but I wanted to go ahead and get all the probing done of the systems, get that knocked out, and I've just I'm showing the long recordings for those that are interested in how I came to get my orbits and my encounters, but I'm going to also just have a quicker an episode. It'll be episode 28 of my series. So at the end of this video, there will be a link in the top right if you're interested in watching the series back from episode 1. We've come a long way since episode 0, where I did my setup and went over all my custom rules. So if that's something you're interested in, go over there and check it out. So here we are. We are in the Dres system, and I've got my maneuver node ready. We're going to get up here and get an orbit. I need to turn my thrusters back up a little bit so it doesn't take 6 minutes to do this. Or actually, I can turn this all the way up because we're going to be separating a stage here. So let me get over to my maneuver, and then we can get this capture done. And then once I get my orbit, I'll grab my science, and then Dres will officially have been visited by a probe. Where is it? Is that it way over there? I believe so. I believe that's Dres right there. All right, let's warp to the maneuver node. Yeah, this was definitely the easiest planet to get to so far. I guess we can go ahead and get our science now while we're waiting. Okay, we barely have signal here. And I hope we can get this orbit before I completely lose signal. I better actually look at this. Because I will have to cut my engines before we lose signal. Otherwise we'll just crash into the... Okay. I'm going to have to cut my engines. So we may not be able to get an orbit here. Maybe when we come around on this back side, what if I just do it really lightly? Okay, so we've lost control. I'm hoping that when we get around here, so we're going to continue this small burn here. And hopefully we'll pull some of this in, and once we pick up signal again, we'll go full burn. Maybe can still capture it in some kind of a elliptical orbit. That's why we need relay stations out here. And actually having this probe, if we can get this one out here, it may help with our relay ship when we send our relay ship out here. Maybe this one will help boost the signal or help get it in a bounce the signal around some. I'm going to fast forward this a little bit. Oh, okay. I thought it stopped burning there. Maybe I won't fast forward because I don't know if it's going to let it burn while it's being time warped. We should pick the signal back up here in just a minute, I hope. And hopefully we haven't gone too far out. But we did already get our science at least, so should be picking that signal back up here any minute. There we go. Don't know if that's going to work or not. I need to be retrograde, and I'm not. Yeah, I am. I don't know if this will work or not. We'll just try it and see. I'm just burning retrograde as hard as I can. It's like it's starting to bend it a little there. Okay, so that put our periapsis in the planet. That's okay because we can push it back out when we get here. And I still have 3700. So let's bring that on down a bit. Alright, let's stop there. Get on us a prograde vector and push our periapsis back out. And actually, I think I'm going to leave this into a kind of a big orbit. Because I don't know if that'll help. I think if I'm farther out, maybe it'll let it reach more bounce signal around the planet a little more effectively. Maybe. I don't know if that works or not. Let's see if we can pull that side in to get a little circular. More about 389. There we go. All right, so we at least managed a circular orbit. The inclination is wonky, but we may be far enough out right here that we never lose comms with the Kerbal. I'm going to test that theory. I'm going to go ahead and just time warp a bit and see if we ever lose comm. It's weak, but it's a signal. No, I never did lose comms. Okay, so that's good to know at least. So at least we have a communication satellite out here now. So when we come in with our relay network, hopefully the delivery vessel can bounce off of this one to deliver the relays to where they need to be. Okay, well, that was a successful mission to Dres. We have got a probe in orbit around this planet now. And I'm going to grab a couple little screenshots here. There's not really any good ones. It's kind of a dull planet, just a gray. It might be pretty easy to land on, though. It looks like there's some flat surfaces there. But anyway, that does it for Dres. And the next planet that we go to will be Jewel. And that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching. Once again, if you check in the top right, you have the window up here for the link to take you to the playlist. And if you like this content, want to see more of my videos, you can subscribe over here in the top left. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.